Welcome to the Real Women, Real Business podcast, where we believe you don't have to choose between doing what you love and building something truly successful. Each episode, we cut through the noise to show you exactly where your energy should go, how to eliminate what's keeping you stuck, and most importantly, how to tell the difference between what's actually making you money and what's just keeping you busy. Around here, we're all about helping you to work smarter, build stronger, and dream bigger. You've already built something amazing, but if it feels like you're stuck in a cycle of back-to-back calls, half-finished launches, and late nights just trying to catch up, you're not alone. Most women start their businesses with passion and drive, but somewhere along the way, they start settling for good enough. They want more, but worry it will cost them too much. And let's be honest, we spend so much time thinking about how to help others, we start feeling guilty for wanting to build real wealth or prioritize our own goals. That's exactly why I created the Real Women, Real Business Mastery Program to help ambitious women like you stop settling for just enough and start building a business that's truly aligned, where passion, profits, and progress work together, because making more doesn't mean sacrificing more. It means building smarter with the right support and the right strategies. If you're ready for sustainable success in a business you actually love running, book your free coaching assessment at aboutshaunalynn.com/coach me. Let's explore what's possible together. Hello and welcome back to the Real Women, Real Business podcast. I am your host, Shauna Lynn Simon, and today's guest, Primavera Barron, is a life and personal development coach who works with women on the verge of burnout. So you know she's speaking my language already. So she's talking about those ones who are feeling stuck, they're feeling lost, or like they're living someone else's life. Does this sound familiar to any of my accidental CEOs out there by chance? And so Primavera is refreshingly unfiltered. You're gonna love this. Her approach is raw, it's honest, and it cuts straight through all the BS, and we're gonna get right to the heart of things. She's helping women to stop abandoning themselves, stop pretending, and finally step into who they actually are, not who they think they should be. If it sounds like I'm a broken record right now, it's because you've probably heard me talk about this, but I love bringing on experts that can tell you in different words that maybe will actually resonate a little bit more. So in today's conversation, it might make you a little bit uncomfortable, and that's kind of the point of it, because we're going to be taking a hard look at how you see yourself and explore why that's been holding you back, and how you can actually reframe it to help you to finally make the shift in your life that you've been longing for. So Primavera, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am thrilled to have you here. So we connected actually in a networking group, and I want to kind of call this out because I feel like that actually merits a bit of a statement, because so many women are like, how do I meet other women entrepreneurs? How do I meet people who I can partner with? Maybe I need an accountability partner. Maybe I want to form a mastermind group. Maybe I just want some resources for my business, or maybe I want some actual clients. And they've tried old school style networking, and I've had lots of women on this podcast who have talked about great ways that you can do the in-person networking, but Primavera and I met through a virtual networking because that makes the most sense for our businesses. And we just connected. I mean, we just instantly hit it off.
I don't even think we got into any kind of business talk until well into the conversation.
We were well into the conversation. Thank goodness I did not have a call scheduled immediately after that one, because we ran way past the allotted time for it. But I just really appreciate your whole perspective on things, your whole approach to how you do things and how you work with your clients. And so you work with a lot of women. We've talked about this in your intro a little bit. You work with a lot of women who are feeling stuck, who are feeling burnt out. When you first start working with someone that's in this kind of space, what do you typically notice about how they see themselves?
They see themselves in an old version. And it's usually the version that had the vision for where they are now.
Oh, interesting.
So, which is great because it got them to a certain point. But I mean, you know, and I'm sure your audience knows what, like, once you get into the business, because a lot of times we have the idea, we know what we want, right? We get the skills, yet there's the difference between, well, I can speak for myself, like the coaching skill and the business skill. They're not the same thing. You have to like dive into each one.
CEOs. Yes, exactly.
so then going through the process of learning the business stuff, what they like, okay, I'm gonna speak for myself because that's the best way I can like explain it. Like,
Sure.
becoming the coach is what my whole focus was on, like becoming the best coach possible. And it's the same thing for my clients. Like they're so invested in whatever business they have. I have women who have like laser tag businesses, construction businesses, like they're all different. So that vision gets kind of lost in between learning the business side. So they're like just in that burnout of like, I used to love this. I still kind of love this. I know, it's there, but there's just something off. So that's that stuck point is that vision is just dissipated in all the things that they've had to learn up until that point.
And I think you bring up such a great point there because this is so true. The passion is what gets us started, but we need to continue to ensure that that passion keeps burning to keep us moving forward. And the best way to do that is to support it with the right skills because as soon as we
Yeah.
start getting buried in and bogged down by the day to day of things that maybe we're not the most skilled at, the things that we're not necessarily well equipped to be doing, that's
Yeah.
where it's going to start taking away from our passion. And I mean, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those things, but to your point, like, yeah, you either need to learn the skills or you need to pass those off to somebody else potentially.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
how is this relating to their identity then? So, they're seeing themselves as the person who had the vision, but they're not seeing themselves as the actual CEO that they are. Is that how that's working?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Yeah, they
Okay.
haven't really, I mean, we hear a lot about embodiment, and to me, like, it was very ambiguous. I was like, what does that mean exactly? But it is knowing that you are that CEO of this business that you built. And it's almost, they still see themselves as the person that's still learning to do it rather than like, oh, I'm trying not to cuss.
And
Oh, shoot.
you know what this
I am that
reminds me of
woman.
though? Like I'm thinking about like I can't tell you how many times my brother and I love to tease my mom sometimes because we'll be going somewhere and she'll give us like the most mundane type of reminder. And my brother and I will look at her like, wow, like I don't know how we've been adulting all these years without your advice every single day. Like we actually do normally function in society, but my mom still sometimes sees us as like these teenagers. And it's so frustrating and you can't help it. I mean,
Yes.
like I said, we make light of it and we're playful about it, but the reality is that you don't want someone painting you in that picture of who you were when you were 16. I know my dad used to always tease one of my best friends because we traveled with her when she was 16 years old and all she ate on that trip basically was chicken fingers. And so he assumes that to this day, we're pushing 50, let me remind you, and to this day he assumes that she still just eats chicken fingers
That's
and
so
is
funny.
shocked when she eats other things. So we get frustrated when people have painted us into this box of who we're supposed to be and don't allow us to grow. And then we go and do it to ourselves.
Exactly. And it feels actually worse because it's like that tug of war, like, I know I want to be this person, but I'm going to go back to being this person. So it's that constant like tug of war of self. And I think that's why it gets so frustrating because it's like, I know it's possible. I know like who
Yeah.
I want to be, yet just getting there, it feels like this barrier, almost like this glass wall that you can't quite get past.
And so how is
And
this showing up every day? Like what does this actually look like in someone's day-to-day life? What does it look like where they're not quite connecting with their today identity? Like what are some things that they might be doing?
it's more like what they're not doing. It's the procrastination.
Solid point. Yep.
It's that procrastination. It's the overthinking the things that they're supposed to be doing for their business. It's the whole, I just don't feel like it. It doesn't feel right. For some
Mm.
people, like it doesn't feel aligned. And that's a lie that we tell ourselves because we don't want to do it for those hidden reasons that we can't quite explain or don't want to admit to ourselves.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking back again to like when I was a child or a teenager for that matter, and all the excuses I would give my parents for why I didn't want to go to bed right
Yeah.
now, or like all the things that, like all the stalling techniques that we have. And
Yeah.
we'll throw this in the show notes, but I did a whole episode about procrastination and what your subconscious mind is actually telling you when you're procrastinating, because if you can take the lessons from it, there's some real solid great information that procrastination
Yeah.
will tell us if you can tap into it. But to your point, though,
Hmm.
I think that's a great way of saying, like, yeah, like when procrastination is sneaking up, one of the things that that's telling you is that you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing.
Hmm. And it's a lot
Right.
easier if you sit down and get it done. Because then when you procrastinate, we end up being so anxious that
Yeah.
anxiety sets in. And then it's just kind of like you're chasing your tail, you know?
And imagine how you feel after it's done. Like, I don't know about you, but anytime I procrastinate on something and then I get it done, I'm like, oh, that's amazing that that's done. I feel
And it
so
was so
good. And
easy.
it was so easy.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
It's
And
funny
it feels
because,
good to mark off that to-do list. I love
oh,
that.
yeah. And it's funny
Checking
because the
off.
things that we want to do always take us longer than we actually think. Like the things that we enjoy
Yeah.
doing, when we scope out a project and we quote it, it's easy for us to say, oh, that'll just take us 2 hours and price it out accordingly. Meanwhile, it takes you 6 hours because you
Yeah.
love doing it so much that the time just flies. But when you're procrastinating on something, the things that you don't want
Yeah.
to do, they actually take way less time than we think they're
Yeah.
going to.
Seriously, that is so true. I did that with my newsletters yesterday. I was like putting it off, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down and do it. And all this, like you said, time flew. I was like, oh my God, how did I get that done so fast? And it was so fun.
Right.
Yeah.
See? Okay, so when did you start noticing this pattern of how women are not showing up in their true identity and their and
Mm.
who they are meant to be? Was there a moment in your own journey or with clients where you realized this was the issue? Because you've kind of reflected about the fact that this is something that you've experienced yourself as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It started with me. It started with when I got divorced when I was 30 years old. And I had got married very young at 19 and got divorced at 30. And I had lived all over the country. And in that marriage and in that lifestyle, um, I was just on the back burner. I put myself there. I take responsibility for it. It was how I decided to live. So when I got out of that and came back home to California, I had no idea who I was. I really wasn't happy with what I was doing as a career. And I went to therapy. I went to the best therapy that I heard about, and it didn't do the thing. It didn't do the trick for me.
Didn't do the thing. Yep.
It didn't do the thing. And I was taking courses online. I was going to other practitioners, in the wellness space, and nothing was freaking helping me move forward. And I was like, whatever, I'm gonna just, so at the time I was a full-time massage therapist. Like, I'm just gonna put on the back burner, do what I got to do right now to live my life. So as time went by, my clients, they would never sleep on the table. They would all talk to me. And every woman pretty much had the same stories going on in their life. So I'm thinking, I'm still sitting in my past stories, you know, not really knowing who I was. I think at that point I was already in my late 30s, time had passed. And I'm hearing all these women, the same struggles, the same things that make them sad. And I got mad. I got really pissed because I'm like, how is it that I'm still dealing with this? Women, and at the time I was working like 10-hour days. So you can imagine how many women I was working with telling
Yeah.
me the same thing. And I was like, oh my God, like so many women are struggling. I've got to figure this out. So that's when I saw the pattern. I mean, I was experiencing it and experiencing other women going through it. And it was, for one, it was breaking my heart. Like, that so many women are feeling this bad. They don't want to tell their friends. They don't want to tell their family. They don't want to tell their husbands because they're embarrassed. There's this sense of shame that they're holding. And it just broke my heart. And then I got mad and I was like, all right, I figured this out. Like, I have to do something about this. And for myself too, because I wanted to live a better life. I knew there was something more for me. There was more possible. And, once I learned, then I can serve other people.
I want to go back to something you just talked about there because I think it's really important that we hit on this, the embarrassment, the shame, the fact that they're telling their massage therapist, not their best friend, not their significant other or spouse. They might be telling their pets at best because
Yeah.
they're really good listeners. I can
Yeah.
attest to that, let me tell you. But they're telling their massage therapist. And that breaks my heart as well. I mean, I've
Mhm.
spoken with you a few times now, and I know how easy it is to just get into a conversation with you. You are so easy
Yeah.
to speak with. But despite that, it's still not the right place to be having that conversation. And
Yeah.
and I can see why you would get so angry because now you're seeing this, as women, we are naturally fixers often, like
Hmm. Yeah,
and they're all coming to you with the same problem, but you don't necessarily have a solution for them at
I
that time
didn't.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, it's not like I only saw them like once. I would see them monthly and sometimes weekly.
And the same conversations,
Hmm. Yeah.
repeating
And I got to the
patterns.
point repeated, and, advice only goes so far. Advice would be based off of what would be right for me.
Right.
So to give advice, even before I know what I know now, it didn't feel right because maybe it was an instinctual thing. So I mostly just listened. But yeah, these were women I would see at least once a month. So these conversations were frequent.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so now that you know how to actually address this topic, what's some of the advice that you would give to people? Or do you want to maybe share a little bit about how you learned what you've learned? So we've
Yeah.
identified how you figured out that this was a problem, but you came up with
hmm
a solution as well.
Yeah. So one of my massage patients, she had just gone through a training and she was telling me about it. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. Like, I know that's what I need. So it was actually neuro-linguistic programming. So I went through it's the better part of a year. So I had to search out the trainer because at the time she did not have any kind of online presence. So I like felt like I hunted her down. Like I was on a mission. Like, I
Can we say
need to
stalker?
know this. I know, I felt like it. And
Yeah,
everybody's on Facebook. So I found her on Facebook
sure.
and I messaged her and I think I got started a month later. And honestly,
Amazing.
I didn't know I was taking NLP. I just knew that she had the knowledge that I wanted and needed. And I went through the whole thing, did the whole up to the master practitioner level. And oh my God, that changed my life. I was like, all right, we're about to do some good with this knowledge.
Okay, so for someone who's maybe not familiar with NLP, we have spoken about it on this show before, but we've only had a couple of guests that have even touched on it. So let's just
hmm
remind everyone in case they haven't heard about this before. So neuro-linguistic programming, also known as
hmm
NLP.
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
So it's basically how to change your inner world with language. And it's really the study of the subjective experience. And that's why it works so well because it's not based off of the practitioner. The practitioner is able to ask you the right kinds of questions to help you basically change your internal world, see life differently. And it's based on you, not on like if I was working with you, it would be not based on me. It's totally about the subjective experience for the person and being able to use language in a way that really does change neurology and creates new neural pathways.
So I think that's the key because you've talked about with me anyway. You've talked about how this is deeper than like traditional mindset work. This is
Yes.
not simple meditations. Not that meditations aren't a part of it, but it's not just
Mhm.
a standard meditation. What's the difference between what most people tend to try or do if they are doing something and what's actually going to create that lasting change for them?
I think there's a big art and skill on directing questions. And one question I never ask is why. We don't ask why questions. We don't, I mean, for one, we don't even go into story because story really isn't important. Basically, all I need to know is how the person is storing their information and how to direct it in another way. You have to ask specific questions to really get your perception to move forward rather than continuing to replay the same things over and over again. So it's very directionalized, if that makes sense.
Sounds like you're like a software engineer for the brain, essentially. You're going to go in there,
Yes.
figure out where everything is, and then figure out what needs to go where
Yes. It's so
and
much
help them.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
it
so much
sounds like
fun.
it.
I love it. It's just so cool to like the moment I see those aha moments. And
Yeah.
it's just honestly, it's this second of kind of like deer in headlights, and I see the wheels turning in a different direction. And it's like, all right, here we go.
I mean, I'm fascinated by it. I have experienced it firsthand myself, and it's something I've always been really intrigued by the human mind, by human
Yeah.
behavior, what triggers different things, what triggers our responses to things, how we're formed, how we're shaped, and how we continue to grow. And there's so much that is created in our youth about who we are today that we hang on to that we don't even realize we're hanging on to, and there's so much opportunity for us to adapt and grow, but you don't learn those tools in school.
No.
You don't learn those tools even necessarily in the business world. You can take a lot of leadership courses. They're not necessarily teaching you really how to be your best self in terms of serving.
Yeah.
And so I'm so fascinated by it because I think it's such a cool science. I think that's the other part of it is I love things that are science based. This is not
Yeah.
I'm sure when you talk to people about it, it can sometimes sound a little abstract and
Yeah. But it's 100% science-based. It is derived from the best practices of psychotherapy and therapy when it first started. And then as it went, they really did a lot of research and had things tested to see what, and it's evolved so much. I mean, it
Oh,
started
yeah.
back in the 70s. And the cool thing about it, what I really love is it's uncomfortable, obviously, because sometimes when we face the things that we don't want to, it's uncomfortable, but it's
Yeah.
also very gentle. There is no, like, you don't have to dive into a past story, relive anything. I'm really good at being able to identify a limiting belief or a limiting thought. And as soon as we switch that, it kind of like you just really don't remember it. It's still there because things stay in your brain, but it's not front of mind anymore. It's not running you. It's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. And now I'm going to leave that behind and move forward because you're not focusing on that.
It's funny that you say that, essentially NLP works. Let me be clear. There is a place for therapy. I am a
Yes.
huge advocate of therapy and truly believe that more of us need to embrace it. And I'm so
Hmm.
pleased to see how many people are embracing it and how much we've reduced the stigma that's attached to it, because I
Absolutely.
wholeheartedly believe in everything that it does. So it's not to say that one replaces another, but
No.
NLP does operate, to your point, it operates quicker. It's There are certain things that NLP can't necessarily dig into the same way that therapy can, and certain things that it can't address the same way that therapy can. But NLP can be a pathway that sort of like I don't know, it's like taking a snowblower versus a shovel.
Yeah, I mean, they serve two totally different functions.
Okay.
They don't operate in the same way. The functions are very different, and therapy is great when you find a good one. But yes, you're right. It's very much a let's just shut this aside. We'll get the pieces that we need and help you move
Yeah,
forward.
exactly. I
It's
love
all
it.
forward focused.
I love that. And I want to talk a little bit about, how women especially tend to be people pleasers and how that's kind of holding us back and how we
Mm.
might be able to help them shift a little bit of that mindset. And we're going to do that right after we take this short break. We'll be right back after this quick message. This episode of the Real Women, Real Business podcast is brought to you by, well, potentially you. Are you a brand or service that supports passionate female entrepreneurs who are ready to turn their vision into profit without the stress and overwhelm? Perhaps you're an accidental CEO yourself, now on a mission to make work and life easier for fellow passion-driven boss ladies. Our podcast is experiencing an exciting 30% month-over-month growth, reaching entrepreneurs who are building stronger, working smarter, and dreaming bigger. We have limited partnership opportunities available for brands that align with our mission of redefining how working hard looks and feels. Visit aboutshaunalynn.com/partner to learn more about becoming a partner in our rapidly growing show. And welcome back to the Real Women, Real Business podcast. All right, welcome back to the Real Women, Real Business podcast. We were speaking with Primavera Barron, and we're talking all about neuro-linguistic programming, and she's going to get inside your mind today. We're getting a little uncomfortable here. And so I want to talk about some of the things that as women, we unconsciously and subconsciously hold on to as a part of our past identity, as a part of things that society has potentially ingrained in us, and things that we don't even realize that we are holding on to that is limiting our ability to move forward. And I know one of the things that you talk about is people pleasing. And
Yeah.
I can't tell you, it is like hitting a brick wall with my clients. Just had a group coaching call yesterday with my members for the Real Women, Real Business Mastery program. And I swear every single one of them was like, but like they don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but I already promised this, but I think it's too late for this, but I can't raise their pricing, and all these different excuses that we come up with. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that they're not valid, but I think the hardest thing is that they're just so uncomfortable with the idea that someone's going to be unhappy.
Hmm.
How do we even start getting past that? I'm not asking you to fully fix everyone in this episode,
Yeah.
but like where where do we start with this one?
Well, you
Certain
got
people
to
who have
ask.
built their entire business around this, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's all about like what meaning are you making of a situation? And we're usually making it something about us. And my clients, they hear this so often. It's what are you saying to yourself about yourself in these moments?
Okay. Okay. So can you give me an example of how this might look? So
Okay.
let's say, for example, okay, so let's say that I have agreed despite my busy schedule and despite the fact that I have zero time to do this, I have agreed to bake 6 dozen cupcakes for a birthday
Yeah.
party this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that saying about me? Because I'm clearly just doing that because I want to make people happy, because I have zero
Uh-huh.
desire to bake 6 dozen cupcakes.
Yeah. So I always ask it. So this is something you don't want to do. You'd be like, no,
Correct.
I don't want to do it. I said,
Yeah.
okay. So what are you saying to yourself about yourself when you're sitting in those emotions of what you don't want to do? Because we're humans, we're emotion driven. So it's like when you're in those emotions, what are you saying to yourself about yourself?
So when I'm so in the time that I'm thinking about like the idea of actually baking these cupcakes, and I'll be honest, I actually really love baking cupcakes. So I'm playing a bit of a role here. Like, oh, I picked the wrong example for this one, but we're gonna do this. So we got this. So
Yeah.
baking the cupcakes, I'm kind of thinking about like I've got to, go and buy all the ingredients. I'm spending money on this. Do people even want cupcakes? Why am I bothering with this? Are people even going to notice it? They're going to devour these in 5 seconds and not even care about how they even got there. And I've got all these other things that I should be doing that I feel like are more important to be
Mm-hmm. So
doing
when you're
rather than
in
baking the
all of that,
cupcakes.
what are you saying to yourself about yourself? It's an easy question, but
Yeah.
weird because we're not used to asking ourselves that.
So what am
So
I saying
it's
to
going to be an
myself
I
about
am.
myself?
It's usually a negative I am or an I can't. That's usually the phrase that it comes down to.
So I am overwhelmed. I am
Okay.
too busy. I'm not digging deep enough. Okay.
No.
Uh,
It's
I
not a
am a
real
terrible
situation, so it'll be
subject for
hard.
this one.
But no, that's all right. That's how it usually goes. So it goes down to those simple I ams. And the biggest ones that it comes down to is I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, or I'm inadequate. Those are the top three. And I've done this on dozens of women, and those are the top three it comes down to.
Oh, I can see, like, yeah, me agreeing to do all these cupcakes despite the fact that I don't have time is that I want to prove that I am superwoman and I can do all these things, because in my head I'm saying I'm not good enough. I'm not being a good enough friend, daughter, whatever it is. And so I need to do this to prove that I am. I see where you're going with that. Okay. Oh, I
So
like
there's,
this.
yeah, so there's a lot of ways. So I also do shamanic energy work, which we've talked about,
Yeah.
other times, and that's I love it. This is where I use this one a lot because that's where we clear the energy and release a lot of energetic attachments that we have to other people. And oh my God, it's just so yummy.
Okay, so can you explain a little bit about what shamanic practicing? Wait, that's not quite the right word.
Practitioner, yeah.
What that is.
When you're practicing,
You're practicing.
um,
Like, this is not quite right, but you got me. Let's go with
I
it.
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, in the type of work that I do, it's based off of a limiting belief, a limiting decision. There's a lot of different names for them. We call them patterns in that world. And it comes down to, I mean, I basically did what I do with you. And then we get down to the limiting belief. And then I ask you, what heavy emotions are you holding with that? So I'll have you, there's usually at least two, sometimes three. So I would have you drop into that first emotion and I would work on your chakra. So I work on your energy body. I don't have to be in person. I do all virtual actually. And I clear that emotion for I clear that emotion wherever it's being held. So I clear it from the chakra and also the energy body around it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is very liberating. I tend to attract a lot of logical people and before I work with them, because in my base program, I have that involved in it. And I always have to make sure that they're okay with it because logical people don't really understand the energetic world sometimes.
Totally me. Did I mention my Bachelor of Mathematics? I worked as an analyst before changing careers. I mean, it doesn't get much more
Yes.
pragmatic than me, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But it's not
So,
that, but this is also why I love things that are, I love people expanding my mind. I love people pushing my beliefs, because I do understand that there are things that I don't understand.
yeah.
And who am I to say that it doesn't work, because clearly it works, right? So that's why I find it
Yeah.
interesting. It's also why I need to bring guests like you onto the show, because no one's going to
Yeah.
hear me talking about this because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So
And
no, I
it's
appreciate you
super
sharing this.
gentle. Yeah, it's super gentle. And that's the other thing that I get a lot of feedback, especially for the energy work. It's so gentle. And it's just you're in this such peaceful state And I think because we're all pretty much 40 and over at this point, we kind of forget what that's like. We don't know how to, like, it's not that we don't know how to access it, but we forget how to do it.
It's so true.
So it's a type of work that just feels like, I just think like yummy, like chocolate cake yummy, because it feels so good.
Now, if someone's listening to this, they're like, okay, so I'm not necessarily ready to clear my chakras yet, but this NLP stuff is sounding pretty good. And I want to just rephrase how I'm thinking of certain things in my everyday life. So the next time someone's asking me to do something that I don't want to do, how do I don't want to say force myself or convince myself, but how do I get myself to a point where I'm comfortable saying no?
I mean, the first thing is ask yourself, what are you saying to yourself about yourself? And once you get down to that, ask yourself, is this something that I want to honor or do I want to do things differently? And you have to be brave and make that choice. We all have to make those choices for ourselves. And usually, when we get down to that belief that we have about ourselves, it doesn't feel good, and you certainly don't want to move forward with it. So it's a lot easier then. But that one question, I mean, it's all about we have to question ourselves in order to do things differently. It's simple, yet challenging. And you kind of have to push yourself through it. But that question, as odd or silly as it may sound, is so darn powerful. I love it. And then you get to make that choice for yourself.
Well, I mean, I've always said simple doesn't mean easy, but a lot of
Mhm.
times the things that are holding us back really do have simple fixes to them, but it
Mhm.
doesn't make them comfortable fixes. And we like to sit in our comfort. So it can be a
Mhm.
little uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
So
But
if
once
someone's
you start doing it, you kind of you get addicted to that uncomfortable feeling because you know what's going to come after
the
it.
change that comes with
Yes.
it, yeah.
Yes, it's just a matter of starting to do it and allowing yourself to just, okay, this is uncomfortable. Yet on the other side of this is who I really am, which is amazing.
I love seeing the shift in my clients after they've had like an NLP session. And it's amazing how they've been holding on to this thing. I've been hitting their head against a wall about a particular idea, whether it's raising prices or ditching a partner
Mhm.
in their business, like a collaborator in their business who's just holding them back. And I mean, obviously these sound more aggressive than they need to be. Like, it's not to say that all
Mhm.
these things are done aggressively,
Right.
but it just takes them from I could never do that to I'm totally doing that. Now I need to come up with the action and the strategy behind it.
Hmm.
And so that's the thing too, like, we can have this insight, but without the actual integration of it, it's just another way that we're avoiding doing real work here.
Hmm.
So how do
Hmm.
we take what these insights that we're getting and actually apply them so that they're helping us to move forward in the right way in our business?
Well, taking action is the only way to solidify anything that we do,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, like me as a coach, what I do is basically I'll walk you to the door, but it's up to you to walk through it. It's that
Right.
action. I mean, it really is. It's that action that really changes how you've been operating. It's going to create a new neural pathway and get you moving. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. But it's got to take the action once you have the insight.
So now what if someone's listening to this and they're saying, I'm too old to learn something new, I'm too old to change my ways, or this is who I am, and we just all have to deal with it. Like, how do we, how do we hit them on the
Well,
head with this?
yeah, that is a choice. That is a choice to believe that. And if someone's listening to this, they know that there's another option and they really don't want to believe that because anybody that's listening to conversations like this isn't going to be thinking that they can't change.
They're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely true. So,
Yeah.
so now you've created some resources to help with this work. What have you got for
Yes.
our audience today?
I have two free journal workbooks that I am a huge journaler. I'm a big
Love
pen to
journaling.
paper. Oh, I love it. That's so yummy to me too.
Honestly, I did try doing digital journaling. It never quite stuck. It never quite felt the same way. I
Yeah.
do appreciate pen to paper, but I will tell you, it's hard to read my journals because sometimes when you start writing pen to paper, like you can't
Yeah.
read my writing. I'm writing so
Yeah. I know
fast.
I do the same thing. So there's two in there. They're all question oriented, questions to make you think, to kind of get you out of the space that you're in because journaling what you're grateful for is wonderful. However, sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know, like my dog break from my house, and you kind of repeat the same things over and over again. So I wanted to put some questions together that get you to think. And so one of them has some more kind of like nature questions, has to do with animals, because, the shamanic side of me, I'm so
Of
connected to
course.
nature and animals. And to me, everything in nature has medicine for you. So I have part of that in one of the workbooks. And then the other one is just straight questions because, we got to do the self-discovery and discover who we are at this point so we can do things differently. It's the only way
I
to do
love
it.
that. I think I'm going to download those because I can always
I
use,
hope
yeah, like
so.
I generally journal without prompts, but I feel like with the right prompts, I could probably be getting so much more out of the journaling
Oh
that I'm already doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had created a journal in the past, and like a lot of my family bought it, and they're like, "This is like you have to think. It's
Personal.
uncomfortable." I was like, "Yeah, that's what it's meant for," and that's what also came out of necessity, because I would talk to colleagues, or when I was out in person networking, and the conversation would be about journaling, and they're like, "I want to, but like I just don't know what to write," and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna
I
solve
got
that
you.
problem too."
I mean, it's a classic case of exactly what we do as entrepreneurs. We identify what is the problem that's out there and how can I solve this for you? And so you've done this in these two
Yeah.
generous workbooks, which is amazing. And
Yes,
so
I love
now,
it.
if people want to connect with you, what's the best way that they can find you?
Best place is Instagram.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
we'll make sure we share your handle in the notes. But just for anyone who's listening while they're driving right now, don't stop and write this down, but remember it. What is your Instagram handle?
It's my full name, Primavera Barron.
Wonderful. She can pronounce it so much better than I can, as you can all tell. I am as Canadian as they get here. But if it was French, I'd do a lot better, trust me.
Mm.
Not perfect, but better anyway. Honestly, this has been such a joy to have you on. I so appreciate everything that you have shared today. I hope that everyone who's listening to this is feeling comfortable and feeling uncomfortable right now. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I'm feeling a little bit like, oh, I want to dig in a little bit deeper. Like what can I find inside myself that I can pull out and release or move forward with? Um, and bring in, I mean, we need to make that space for all of this incredible action that we want to put out into the world, all the great things that we want to do. And so in order to do that, we need to release so many of these limiting beliefs. And you just shared it with us some great tools to do that. So thank you.
No, thank you. This was so much fun.
That's always the goal, right? We're having a
Yes.
conversation here, and I hope that everyone who's listening at home or driving or at work, wherever you are, that you've also enjoyed today's conversation. If what we're saying today is resonating with you, then I do hope that you will tune in again next week. We drop new episodes every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time and allow us to continue to be a part of your journey. Don't forget to leave us a review and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, keep thriving.